In today's soap review, we're talking about imaginary authors, Telegramma, coming right up. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, John, and for today's review, I'm very excited to talk about this soap and splash combo. In the past year, I've been talking a lot about different collaborations, in particular between soap makers and perfumers. I think it was about the summer of 2020, so a few months ago, where there were some teasers between a collaboration between indie perfume house Imaginary Authors and Noble Otter. And then things were quiet for a while. Then fast forward a few months later to about, I think, the end of January 2021, and lo and behold, what do we find on Imaginary Authors' site? But this right here, and that is Telegramma, the shave soap, as well as the matching aftershave splash. Now, just a little bit of information about Imaginary Authors. The concept behind each of the fragrances from Imaginary Authors is that there is a made-up novel attached to each of the scents. The scent notes are directly tied into these made-up stories, and it really adds an extra fun, creative layer if you really get into this fragrance house. This is a perfumer that I think a lot of wet shavers who are kind of into both worlds have been clamoring for, and I do know that other artisans in the past, other soap artisans in the past have reached out to them, but they just weren't interested in the time, or maybe were focused on other things. That's why the announcement from Noble Otter last year was very exciting, because there's a great catalog of scents from Imaginary Authors that I think wet shavers and fragrance lovers alike would love to have in their daily shave routine. And then when you add in an established soap maker like Noble Otter, and you have a very exciting release. So let's dive in a little deeper, shall we? If you'd like to help the channel, please like, share, and subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. These are all easy ways to support and grow the channel if you're enjoying what you're watching. Alright, so let's first talk about the price. Both the soap and the aftershave splash, both 4 ounces, cost $24 USD each. The aftershave itself is an alcohol splash, and it comes either with or without menthol. Next, let's talk about the packaging. Imaginary Authors to date has some excellent artwork on their perfume releases, so it's no surprise that the labels on the soap and aftershave splash look phenomenal. For Telegramma, it really reminds me of vintage travel posters, a bit of a throwback. I have to say that the design just pops. If you line it up on a shelf with your other shave soaps and aftershaves, I think this one really stands out from a crowd. Alright, moving on. The official scent notes for this one include Talc, Lavender Absolute, Black Pepper, Teak, Amyris, Vanilla Powder, and Fresh Linens. Now let's take a sniff off the tub here. Alright, so the scent strength off the tub and when lathered is, I think, firmly in the middle. It's about a 5 or 6 out of 10. To my nose, this smells like a classed up version of a classic pharmacy aftershave. In particular, it really reminds me of a cross between Aqua Velva and my personal favorite, Skin Bracer. The standout notes for Telegramma really are that clean powdery talc, the sweet vanilla, and a herbaceous lavender kind of in the background. I think it's that sweet and vanilla that really reminds me of Skin Bracer in particular. While I don't normally love old school aftershaves, I really do like what Imaginary Authors has come up with in Telegramma. Now, the funny thing is, I did have a sample of the perfume itself maybe a year or so ago. While I like the fragrance sample, I didn't love it, and I don't think I would be compelled to buy a whole bottle of it. However, I think it really does belong in the shave soap aftershave format. Now, I do remember reading that old school aftershaves were in fact at least one part of the inspiration, just something that would bring your mind to a bygone era, and I think they've totally nailed it. And they've also, again, they've elevated the classic aftershave with this creation here. Now, to quickly touch upon performance, I really do like and enjoy Noble Otter's soap base. I think it's easy to lather, it's easy to work with, it provides plenty of cushion, solid post lather as well. So there's nothing about the soap itself that's detracting. It does nothing but complement this scent. Alright, so my final thoughts on Telegramma. I really dig this one. I do recommend it. I think it's the medium scent strength allows it to be in everyday use. So if you are one who doesn't like to keep a really big collection, you like scents that you can enjoy in the moment of and will maybe last you like at most an hour, maybe an hour or two after the shave, that's about the performance you're gonna get here with Telegramma. This will definitely appeal to the people that like that more vintage aspect of wet shaving. However, again, I'm not normally a big old school aftershave person, but I also find myself really enjoying, dare I say, love Telegramma's scent. It's funny to think that there are some scents that would be better enjoyed as a soap and aftershave and not as a fragrance, and probably vice versa. It probably has something to do with scent strength, certain notes that come out more. I think it also really depends what associations you have with a particular scent. So for me, Telegramma, really, I don't know, it really makes me think about the enjoyable aspects of just shaving itself. I really do associate this scent with that time we have to take a break from the day, shave, whether it's the morning or the night. It's a little bit of escape, it's a little bit of pampering, and I think something about Telegramma just really complements, it completes that experience. I will say that if you're not a fan of that powdery talc note, steer clear away from Telegramma because this is probably not the scent for you. All that is to say, I'm really impressed by the initial offering from the collaboration of Imaginary Authors and Noble Otter. I really do hope they tackle some of their other scents. I'm so glad to see more collaborations between the soap makers and perfumers, and I just hope that this keeps happening because it's opening up, I think, more possibilities. It'll also broaden the types of scents I think that we have available to us. And for those of us who really enjoy the scent side of the shave experience, I can only see, more and more wins coming up. I want to thank you guys so much for taking some time out of your day and joining me for today's soap review. If you have any questions at all about the scent, the soap, the aftershave, let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll catch you next time. Take care.